Welcome back to Midwest Linux Gaming. I see you, Kyo. I'm your host, Stompin' Llama. Today we're gonna try and blitz through 4, 5, and 6 of the Megamans. Reason being is that Mega Man 3 is exceptionally long for a Mega Man game. I mean, long as in it took like 2 hours rather than an hour and a half, but, you know. When you're dealing with 4-hour time frames and looking to get through 2 in one go, well, you kind of run out of time rapidly. So we're about fortunately we're about a third of the way done with Mega Man 4 and 5, same situation. So theoretically, those should pop out very quickly, and we're on less of a time constraint today. And 6 is probably the most, quote-unquote, generic of the Megamans. After all, it was most definitely 5 and 6 where they were starting to run out of general ideas. So let's take on Dr. Cossack. Oh, most certainly, I do not see Snake Sun. Most definitely not. No point really in taking out too many of these Springman wannabes. Shoot, they take less damage than these guys and their wheels. Oh, come off it. Good lord. I wasted a ton of health there. Not that it matters much. Right, and there can be more of them than just the one. Fine. Make me get out my... Oh, right, this is not top spin. Fine, make me get out Skull Barrier? I'll figure out whatever their weakness is eventually. And Skull Joes are probably those Skull Joes are probably the most interesting Joe they've ever come up with. Whee! Rush! Still, sometimes there's required rush. Quick! Yeah! And other times, there is not. Are we gonna need any skull barrier? No. Skull barrier is, in fact, not really needed at all. Huh. I was hoping for health, but it is what it is. This boss is weak to the ring boomerang. Shouldn't be too bad. Assuming I don't take too much damage. Well, that was extremely rude of it. Yeah, it sounds about right. Are you doing the Record of Eminence? Because that is, oh, leveling is generally not that big of an issue. Are you using the Records of Eminence? That is perhaps the best way to do a tutorial in Final Fantasy XI. I meant to, yeah, the flashing light warning, it gets bad around 5 and 6. 4, 5, and 6. And I will also say that the new ring in 11, that's, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, the new ring is, faster than... Come on. There we go. That's faster than your initial boost from Seekers. So that's a pretty significant speed increase. Rush! No, 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 bad dog! Bad dog. Yeah, leveling in Retail 11 is significantly faster because endgame is really at 99, so you really need to get to 99 as fast as possible. And as you probably heard me mention multiple times, it is endgame stacked upon endgame stacked upon endgame, grind-wise. Okay, yeah, Records of Eminence is the tutorial and full of all sorts of rewards, including the trust system, which you really should unlock. Basically, a party of NPCs somewhat similar to how 14 does it, except they're out in the overworld. It's actually an extremely useful thing, and I was hoping to catch you before you did much in retail. 4 E-tanks. Is that gonna be enough? That's gonna have to be enough. I don't feel like messing around with that one. It really is a convenience thing, as well as a tutorial in providing various forms of endgame rewards. Okay. Ow. Yeah, that's part of it. And that probably will actually take you to like level 10 or 15. Like it is an extremely fast-paced at this point. Like that'll probably be the one that takes you the longest to do. Although with the 100% skill gain, that should be a lot faster. Like, it seriously took me to, like, level 10 to be able to even get my, my standard weapon to 5. Again, that's just so what you are unlocking your weapon skills, and so they can teach you about the weapon skills and the magic bursts, which base 11 doesn't? Oh, this one's an auto-scroller. I forgot Mega Man did auto-scrollers. No, because I've made a new character, so you're not behind. And any behind you would be considered would be negligible. I should probably mute Discord on my end. I mean, since Redden's using his pre-made character, is already a character that already has probably some records, and maybe some Rhapsodies. Yeah, the Rhapsodies boosts. That's what I was thinking about. Yeah, Rhapsodies boosts are various key items that increase XP gain even further. And I think they're like 30%. So yeah, that one ring is more than your first boost from records. From Rhapsodies. Which is, they add up very quickly, but are also necessary because the end game grind is, it's basically 3 versions of the XP grind, and they are very slow. We are going to need more additional ring. And I've done the starting areas for Windhurst and Sandoria and Bastock all by myself, so it's not like it's a... This begs the infinite question of how you're supposed to get that. Infinitely begged question of how you beat that, but uncertain. Uncertain. Huh. The cockroach twins. These guys I might just die on. Or maybe not. You're not late by much. According to the wiki, it does the same damage, but it's just easier to... The Records of Eminence is separate than what the Gate Guard is telling you. The Records tutorial is to show you the various systems in game. Yeah, I'm well aware of that. We have an entire... We have an entire set between now and then. A fair shot was doing 6. It was doing 3. According to the wiki, they both do fully charged to do 3 damage apiece. Plus, it's actually easier to hit them with Pharaoh Shot. I don't have to do the jumping. Yeah, standard Pharaoh Shot damage is 1 to 3 damage, 1 to 3 pips. Good lord. Good lord, these cannons. Good lord, those cannons. They just don't stay vulnerable long enough. Well, I don't think I've beaten. Technically, I don't think I've ever beaten 4. I've seen it played enough to where it's not a problem. Well, considering his weakness is technically the Mega Buster, not surprising. Of course, these things. Good lord, I hate those turrets. And they're almost as bad as the shield attackers. It's, not having the rewind feature makes it more difficult, but it's not bad. Just a weird, unusual design decision to not put in. There's just so many other games to be played. It will be played probably between Nioh 2 and whatever massive RPG gets played next. So that's not a... Don't need to worry about it. It will be played. I'm assuming it has something to do with internal processing of the slide. I'm assuming that's what it is. Yeah, I'm assuming it's something to do with how the slide is processed. I'm assuming it just takes up more processing power than what's... I mean, it probably serves as a primary interrupt. And so it gets stuck in between the programming logic for the cassette capsule. Or the catcher, or whatever they call it. I mean, as much as Proto Man did play a role in was it 3? He really doesn't play that as big a role as you would think. Spinning Met Wars, jumping, spinning, ugh. Ones that are slightly more annoying to deal with. I mean, if it's a processing facility, then that's not surprising. Water treatment facilities are everywhere, and after you know what goes on in them, they're less of a ooh. Than you would think. Especially with the water being as clean as it seems to be. Bathroom, pool room, what's the difference? It's a tiled room. There's a lot of things that can be tiled for various reasons. That was too high. Perfect. Plus, I think by the time they got to Mega Man 7, they had a better grasp on what proper level design is supposed to be. Ow. A lot of games, a lot of enemies in this one, yeah, are mats. Let's see, and this is why I got the wire. Wire just kind of breaks that room, fortunately. Still need some more Pharaoh Shot. Yeah, I did mention 7, so I did ask for the yokai blocks. Yoko blocks. Which were strangely absent up until this point. Okay, the Metal Daddy. Technically Pharaoh Shot, but they take about the same damage as the Buster. I'm just gonna bust out a knee tank. Just for safety reasons. That's so it would seem. Actually, a very, very simple boss, fortunately. You're right, they did kind of take that inspiration. Probably. That E for everyone. Oh, we do have the boss rematches coming up at some point, too. So we're still gonna need Pharaoh Shot for... Well, he's Ringman, so he's not like he's gonna be complicated. You can tell they were starting to run out of ideas when they start putting spikes everywhere and being like, hey! Possibly not, actually. What exploit are you referring to? I will gladly take advice. Oh, of course. Weak to ring. Those things are. If it's something relatively easy to pull off, I don't see why not. Eddie. Bad Eddie. Bad. Eddie. Okay, that's slightly better, Eddie. I mean, we've got, what, 8 E-tanks? We don't need more? The rewinds exist just to save time, really. Poor caterpillars. One drill bomb onto his lower body's half. That definitely sounds like a programming oversight. Yeah, that most definitely sounds like a programming oversight on someone's part. I'd say if they, I'd ask if they got the intern to program that, but this was likely before those types of internships were a common thing. I was hoping for more health. The Taco Trash Man. Yeah, there's a note in here about using Drill Bomb to delete his hitbox. I don't know if that did it or not. That did, in fact, do it. That is exceptionally easy to pull off. And hilarious. I mean, they had every opportunity to fix that in the Legacy Collection here, but they didn't. That is glorious. Oh, that's funny. Okay, we need... You've never let me down, but I do that out of habit. After all, being able to rapidly go back to a good state is not a bad thing. And I'm gonna assume these are the boss refights. Because we haven't had those yet. Refights! Yes! Alright, refights. Let's see who's behind door number 1. Drill Man. Yeah, Drill Man, there he is. Dive missile. Brightman, I Buster dueled him. Like I Buster dueled Dive Man, because you have to Buster duel someone at the beginning. I Buster dueled Dive. Yeah, Bright is probably one of the easier ones to Buster Duel. Oh. Forgive me. I thought you might have actually done something smart. Like, not physically disappear. Okay, fine. If you want to be like this, Drill Man. No, I was not aware of that. Bright. He never stopped time for me anyway. We were quite literally dueling like this the entire time. Like, he didn't do that once. This time he wants to be, This time he wants to be a bit annoying. Like, he didn't freeze time at all the first time. And that's Skull Man. Dust Crusher. Okay, I must have very specifically avoided that. Those by only doing card shots. I must hit those very specific thresholds then. Dive. Skull Barrier. Yeah, I must have avoided those barriers somehow. He's being slightly annoying by being constantly underfoot. He also seems to have a much larger hitbox than most other Robot Masters. He ate a lot of Skull Barrier. Not that Skull Barrier is useful, like, ever. And Toad. Toad is Drill Bomb. I don't think I ever have. You know, that is probably true, considering the Buster by itself deals 3 damage. Let's see, that was Dust Man. That's Ring Boomerang. Which we want to save some Ring Boomerang for the boss. And dead. Well, like most melee weapons, yeah, I could see that. And that's Ring Man. He's weak to Pharaoh Shot, but not... It takes about double damage. I keep physically running into him. That's the problem. Like, he's surprisingly hard to jump over. I'm trying to save my Pharaoh Shot. That's it. Out of all the ones we haven't seen, that'd be Pharaoh Man next, and technically Flash Stopper. Flash Stopper? Bright Man. God, it's labeled Bright. Again, the best part about Flash Stopper is it is, in fact, entirely just stop time. Yeah, I see that. Ring Man. Ring Man and his glorious rings. Because I do actually enjoy onion rings IRL. That would actually make him terribly more annoying. Ow. Well, you're not wrong. It is 3. And then you can hit him. Okay. I see. Actually, it's just faster to do this. I see exactly what you're going on. Oh god, the hiccups have started. It is tricky. He's also still, at that point, he's weak to Drill Bomb. 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I wasn't aware that you could detonate them. That is what E-Tanks are for. And there's not many bosses left. Okay, let's try that again. There we go. Yeah, that's one of the things you can do. I've seen that done before. Not that it matters, it just deletes a sprite is all it does. And might softlock you, I don't remember. I think we got full Pharaoh shots, so that's all that matters. Although I wouldn't say no to an additional E-Tank, but... Alright, we can't walk in with a fully charged Pharaoh. But we can charge while we wait. Where are you, Wily? Okay. Let's not make this mutually assured destruction. Apparently he can just kill you in that last one as well. Cossack? He always is kind of... Yeah, he does kind of have that skeptical look. It's the raised eyebrow. It's that raised eyebrow. And Wily just behind his traditional ninja door. Now granted, Wily has to be an extremely wealthy individual. And it's never really talked about because he... Look at the size of the buildings he produces just to explode them in remote locations of the world. In fact, here, there's an entire railroad built to supply the base. Like, he's an extremely wealthy individual. I do remember Crystal Man. I'm assuming he does it by mining or the creation of additional crystals. Right, yeah, there's lore behind them. But even up until 5, it's like, how many of these large-scale industrial buildings does he have to make? Like, they're not cheap to operate. You're talking multiple thousands, tens of thousands of dollars in just construction costs. And then heating. That one was in the middle of the snow. That's tens of thousands of dollars per month to probably heat the location. Of course, considering he probably generates the electricity on site, considering they explode. Still, the construction costs alone are ridiculous for him. That is possibly an explanation. He may have some very, very photogenic feet. And that may be the entire reason. Because he's definitely a very, very old man. Toadman. Honestly, 4 has some pretty interesting designs on the bosses. That was definitely around the time they were starting to begin to show they were beginning to run out of ideas. I mean, Brightman for Flash Stopper? Come on. Granted, this was before Junkman and after Springman. And if I remember right, it just stops here on a blinking eddy. That's Mega Man 4 completed. I wouldn't necessarily say that. Anyway, where we left off was, we'd beaten the 8 robot masters in 5. And I believe we were onto the Proto Man stage. No, Wily is worse, actually. Wily is actually very evil. But we'll have to wait until we get into the several more testing streams before we get to that point. Because that's because when we get to the Zero and ZX collection, that's when I'll have a chance to talk about how evil Wily is. But that's mainly because of ZX Revelations. Specifically ZX Advent. Like, I want to see how they do those particular games, because those ones were, while the touchscreen wasn't necessary, it was handy to be able to do. Tiger. And this is exactly why I thought we might be able to do 5 and 6. 4, 5, and 6. All in one go. Yes, we do have beat already. Okay, that did not make any difference. Probably Star Crash. That guy. And I keep getting my 2 mixed up. Right. Pogo Rush. That probably would be handy. There's always at least one. Right, Super Arrow. Super Arrow is also a thing. One of the other nice things is in 5, they did increase the size of your your charged buster shot. Which is actually extremely handy. Not massively, mind you, but it is larger. Yeah, there's a lot of sprite flickering in 5. And we've seen that the sprite flickering is just a thing. I knew it was gonna do that. I knew it was gonna do a drop. Skip that entire room. Yeah, we can do that. I've already gotten my, I've already done my 3rd walk for the week. But, some 11 would not go amiss. And I can probably do some more proper explanation as to, what the Records of Eminence are and why they're extremely useful. Stupid thing. Okay, 2 buster shots only on that. On to Darkman 1, who's weak to... All of these Darkmen are weak to beat. Weirdly. Come on, Beat. Get him! Okay, yeah, this is not going well for me. Oh, okay, thank you, Beat. Probably should have saved Beat for the next one, because nothing else deals nearly that much damage. Although Super Arrow would be good, possibly. Okay, I use bar filler for my XP bar. Cause I was wrong. Info is a different one entirely. Although info bar did require me to do a little bit of plugin file editing in order to get its location to stay. But that's fairly standard of a lot of plugins actually on 11. I mean, they're built in Lua, so it's not surprising that they sometimes require you to get into the actual text files themselves in order to do editing. Looks like nothing wants to drop, weapon energy. Yeah, nothing wants to drop weapon energy. Oh, that was, stupid of me, almost. Of course they put spikes there. Why wouldn't they? Oh. Right, Crystal Joes. Dr. Wily offers garlic bread. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because garlic bread is just garlic bread. Garlic bread is garlic bread. Oh. I mean, that all depends. Does it taste like actual garlic bread or not? If it tastes like garlic, that's a tough one. Do we need that E-tank? Yes, actually. Like, we're surprisingly low on E-tanks. I didn't realize we were this low on E-tanks. I mean, if it tastes like garlic and you know that it's garlic and you can't tell that it's not garlic, what's the difference? If it tastes like garlic and you just don't know that it's not garlic, why would you not? I mean, garlic bread is garlic bread. It is glorious. At least these guys have the good nature to not, you know, continually fire pellets as they die. And those metools on turrets, they're not bad either. Bad tiger. Bye-bye, tiger. Okay, that one, no. Like, I'm not for most things tainted with bodily fluids in general. I don't remember what this Darkman does, other than walk around. Oh, he does get faster, though. Oh, he does get so much faster. Oh, he does get so much faster. But he really doesn't do much else. Okay. That one we can let slide. I mean, there are some people who would go along with something along that lines, but generally not with, like, someone like Wily. Like, that's not hard to find fan art of such similar proportions. Who gave the Sniper Joes a pilot's license? I do want to know who gave them a pilot's license. This seems like a very bad idea. Ow. Sadly, no, that was a bit after my time. Like, I watched bits and pieces here and there, but generally it was out of more morbid curiosity. I mean, that does sound like something they would do. Let's see, we could use some more Star Crash, probably. Oh, Oh, the life counter is stuck at 9. Was it Mega Man 2 or 3 that had the life counter go beyond 9? One of them did. Like, we had like 11 actual lives. Yeah, Fairly Odd Parents was a bit, was never my particular jam. Come on. Come on, Metul. I thought it might have been 3. Kind of weird that they kind of limited it in later games. And then the Zero series ties it directly to your rating, to how much damage you deal, you take. No, that'd be Toe Jam and Earl, but that was also never anything I really played or watched much of. Yay, snake thing. Alright, Rush Jet. There we go. Snake thing that... Haha! Pink Robot Man. Haha! Ah, crap. Pink Robot Man. He's got nothing on me. Although the addition of M-Tanks is pretty good. No, you do not! Ha! Yeah, 'cause Super Mario World had very similar blocks in at least one of the castles. Okay, Darkman 3. I do not remember what his deal is. He does have a gun. He has a gun and rings. And rings that freeze you. There we go. A bit of X1 Vial. You're not wrong. On to the final Darkman. Right. This one. Yeah, I remember this bit in I remember that bit in Brutal Mario. Have fun. Real Proto Man. I mean, though his DPS would be helpful, it is fine. Well, I think it was a one-shot only weapon, so... Beat! Beat! Help me, Beat! Beat! Beat, seriously. Beat, seriously. Please help. Beat, please. Fine, Beat. If you're gonna be insisting on not doing anything. I mean, I think it's more center mass, but, and they're robots. This is before they become compatible and fully complete. Because we do know by the time of at least 0 that there's some degree of physical compatibility, and by the time of ZX Advent, there really isn't a difference between the two. Of course, ZX happens before Legends. Well, in Legends there are no humans left alive. Well, there's one human who was left alive in Legends briefly. Yeah, the entire Mega Man series is about the slow extinction of humanity and its replacement with its robot alternatives. We call them Reploids. And how even they forget that they are artificial beings. I read that just as I was falling down the right side. It was... That was glorious timing on your part, on both our parts. Yeah, the timing was perfect there. Ooh, I will gladly take some more... Jet? I don't think I'm gonna need more coil. I hate these things. Well, never mind. I did technically need coil. Haha! I knew you could use the upper platform if you wanted to. Crushers! It's crusher time. Oh, chicken! Ooh. I mean, probably because how effective crushers tend to be against Megaman. I mean, think about it. It's probably the most useful thing he could use. Wily could use. I mean, other than spikes, but I'm assuming he doesn't do a all spike room because he has to navigate as well. Let's see, this guy, he's weak to Crystal Eye. Okay, and I had to see what Crystal Eye was again because I had to remind myself. That's gyro attack. That's not the one. Okay. I see now. I see. You have to send it out yourself. Okay, those guys are being in just bad spots. Apparently I'm very bad at doing this and not getting hit. Not that it matters, he is dead. Yeah, that's what I thought. And it's actually a really good thing for keeping track of that kind of information. Although that information is available in the default game, it's just hidden behind, as with everything in Final Fantasy XI, menus, because the game is from 2002. And Final Fantasy XI is allergic to giving you, well, all that information you might need. Every stage has an M-tank, you say? I must have missed that. I know what M-tanks are. They're, Oh. I mean, haven't had much of a need of using the M-tanks at the moment. Because M-tanks are the full everything restore? If I'm remembering correctly. I believe they get replaced by W-tanks just for weapon energies, and I'm either thinking that happens in 6 or I'm thinking somewhere else. One of the other Megamans. Either that or, because I swear it's like W-tanks were weapon tanks. It's been a while since you told me what you were drawing. I know you drew the meatball thing. Jeez. Somehow that's not surprising. That would be, for some people, yeah, they would definitely be into that. So again, that's one of those fetishes I've never understood, but that's always been a me thing. It's like, some people are into that. Good for them. I'm not. I'm not gonna say people aren't allowed to be into what they're into. Oh, you big man. Okay, that's not useful. This is a hell of my own making. Please tell me this guy can be killed by Power Stone. Fortunately, nothing needs it other than the enemy that's weak against it, but still. That was half a thing of Power Stone. Planar rifts. I believe those are Void Watch. Okay, this guy. He's weak to the gyro. Right. But he's only open during specific times. It's either that or, yeah, planar rifts are that. I believe are Void Watch. Literally something you don't unlock for several expansions. Like, mini expansions. But there's also the ones that how you unlock certain NMs Although those aren't going to be listed as planar rifts. Yeah, I believe those are Void Watch. Some of them. Not all of them, mind you. Some of them. And you don't unlock Void Watch until you're in Wings of the Goddess. Which you can start at any time, I think. Yeah, because you can start any of the expansions stories technically at any time. And Void Watch is one of the 4 different teleports. One of the 4 different teleport systems that are in 11. I hope you've been, okay. Gravity Man. First one's Gravity Man. He's weak to Star Crash. Star Crash, which is easy enough. Unfortunately, the Wily Press, this boss, is weak to Star Crash. Probably should have dueled him. Wave Man is weak to Charge Kick. We end up having to use the M-Tank anyway. Oh, right. I forgot how you use Charge Kick. You actually have to slide. He's also, well, everything's technically weak to charge shots, but... Stone Man. Napalm Bomb. The fact I'm almost out of Crystal Eye is concerning. Okay, Stone Man. Stone Man. He's being extremely hard to hit for no reason. There we go. Napalm is technically fire, but it's more the explosion. I believe that was Starman. Water Wave. Easy enough. Yeah, that's Void Watch, I think. Again, not anything you have to worry about. Crystal Man. That's gyro attack. Ooh, we're a little low on gyro. Unfortunately, we don't have anything else to really hunt gyro with. Get off of me! You fool! You fool! Please, get off of me! Thank you. Yeah, you won't be able to interact with those rifts meaningfully for quite a while. Oh, of course, Napalm Man. Almost out of Crystal Eye, so we're gonna have to eventually duel him. So we're just gonna need the health. There we go. I knew I didn't have enough Crystal Eye. And that's Charge Man. Power Stone. Okay, I thought it might introduce you to it. I thought there was a point where they introduce you to it. No. And all that's left, I believe, is Gyro Man. And that's just a 1-to-1 drain. Oh yes, the Wily Press. I might be able to get away with no hitting him. Unless he gets faster with his decision making. I see what you mean about him being weak to charge shots. He's technically not, but that's because charge shots deal the same damage regardless. Whew. Minor annoyance. Big Laser Man. I'm surprised we don't see more of those. Ow. I'm not sure that's an actual thing, so... Okay, Wily Machine 5. Okay, 5. This thing is weak to Super Arrow. Supposedly. Though I have no clue how we're supposed to exactly... Okay, yep. I will use my E-Tanks, because of course. What else am I supposed to use them for? And the final form. Beat. Murder! Beat. Please murder. Please murder faster. Beat. Oh, Beat. You poor dumb bird. Please, murder faster. Please murder faster. Okay, Beat, thank you. Okay, yep, better bird. Better bird. Good bird, good bird. Good bird. Beat is good bird. Beat. Be a good bird. Beat sometimes does not want to be a good bird. Sometimes Beat is good bird, sometimes Beat is, not necessarily the best of birds. This is where the wiki comes in handy because, it's got a full bestiary. But yes, mandragores are in fact plantoids. So are saplings. Okay, Beat has entered murder mode. Yes, murder mode Beat. Once he locks onto a target like that, it is glorious. I can provide a better explanation as to what they are, what the records are once I get in-game. Because I've not even started with my character. And that's the end of 5. And Wily just runs. Kaboom! 6.5. On to what is considered probably the most controversial of the original Megamans, but that is mostly because of, Tomahawk Man more than anything. Though you'd think with Yamato Man and Centaur Man, you'd think they wouldn't be, or and Nightman, you wouldn't have that much of a controversy. Like, I knew 4 and 5 would go relatively quickly, and they have. It's only been about an hour and a half, an hour 50, which is how long 1 and 2 took to beat. And like I said, 3 took like 2 hours the other day, so... But that's mostly due to 3 having basically like 16 robot masters. I mean, there's Flame Man too, but come on now. I wouldn't say that, mostly because there's not much stereotypical headdress of the Vietnamese people. Like, that just doesn't exist, that I'm aware of, that can be stereotypicalized. Let's be honest. Flame Man exists because Flame Man wears the turban because he's an oil-based robot. That's the entire reason. I mean, Nightman is a robot in a suit of armor. Tomahawk Man wears the headdress because he uses the tomahawk. Yamato Man uses... I believe he uses some type of, he uses the spear, which was one of the more traditional weapons of the samurai, and he wears things that look like samurai armor. No, that's Windman. Windman! Yeah, I don't know why. Windman wears the turban, not Flame Man. My bad. Yeah, I have no clue on Windman. Yeah, I have no clue. Ah, yes, and this is the Mr. X Robot Tournament thing. In the year 20XX80. There's Yamato Man. Yeah, Centaur. Plant. Okay, that's Wind. So I was right about Flame Man. I was right, Flame Man wears the turban. In which case, oil. That makes as much sense as anything else. Again, 6 is just full of the standard stereotypes of the era. Like, all of them are wearing very stereotypical garb for their weapons. And the only way you could get more stereotypical would be if you, instead of Yamato Man being Japanese, how would he feel about Centaur Man? Ooh, that's a hard one. He might feel proud because of the horns. Okay, which one of these do I normally start with? I think I start with Yamato Man normally, or Tomahawk. I either do Yamato or Tomahawk normally when starting. I think. At the second fork, take the upper path. Bears. You normally start with flame, huh? Oh, the adapters, yes. Yeah, because all I have open in the, on the other screen is where the beat plates are, although Beat himself is not entirely useful at all. Oh, you can't get them all. I thought you might not be able to. I thought you needed a full shot in order to knock them into things. Right, Megaman is apparently weak to fire. Apparently weak to oil fires. Yeah, you're not wrong. It does do a lot of damage. One thing and this is one of the reasons I like 6 a lot, is the sprite work is very good. Like, you've got some of the most expressive enemies you've ever seen in a Mega Man game. And some of the more unique designs on just generic enemies. And it's not the Robot Masters that are the ones that have the more interesting designs, although it does have some of the more interesting designs. It's a minor hitch there. Yeah, there's definitely some degree of jank in 6's controls that are not present in, like, 5. Ow. And destroyed. Oddly enough, I just noticed that the beat parts are only located in the weapon-based masters. Tomahawk, Yamato, Knight, and Centaur. Like, spear, mace, generic centaur, cavalry, and axe. You're not wrong. However, technically... yeah, he's more Blizzard Man. He takes more damage from Blizzard's weapon. And Blizzard Man is weak to, actually weak to fire. So we should probably handle Blizzard Man first. Ah, but they were cowards. So they were cowards. I mean, most of the Robot Masters in 6 are easier than a lot of others. Well, I'm just not going to be able to hit whatever that was. Also, very clearly, Blizzard Man is based on Canada. And Canadians. Like, it is full of stereotypes. Not just the obvious ones. A whole bunch of other ones. I mean, technically, curling is not just a Canadian sport, but it is more Canadian sport than most other places in the world. Squid. Fine, Squid. I will just run past you. Yeah, 1-ups really aren't that important. Ah, the sub. I'm assuming we need power? The power adapter? I mean, very clearly they didn't want to go all out on the Canada thing. But they wanted to be referential enough. Ooh, E-Tank. Right, no slide. No slide in power armor. I'll gladly take that E-Tank, since they are so useful. Jump. Inputs were getting eaten there. Yes, that is true. I'm just gonna die here, rather than waste an E-Tank. Just easier to die. And come back with full health. It's not like lives mean anything anyway. I mean, we're talking generic elemental. We're talking basic elementals. Elemental fire, ice, wind, electricity. We're talking basic elements here. I mean, he's so big because he's in winter gear, trying to keep himself from freezing to death. Just like people do when we put on our winter coats. We become very big and bulky. Unless we're talking about those people who are absolutely ridiculous and don't. Plant man. And I do like the other reason I like 6 is because the Robot Master introduction screens are just glorious. No, I'm talking about the people who wear, like, the half coats. It's like, okay, I don't get that, but whatever. Oh, not you! Use the Flame Man on the large gorilla tanks. Oh, they made Eddie less cheesable. They made Eddie less cheesable. That is much faster. Although I believe the power adapter also does pretty good against them. And they're also not bad to Buster Duel. I've done that in the past. Actually, if we want to talk about reused aesthetics, I believe it's called Neon Tiger slash Tiger from the Extreme games uses this exact aesthetic, I believe. At least I will always know him as Slash Tiger. I believe he's actually in there as Neon Tiger, but that was, again, sanitizing the references to classic rock and roll bands. Oh. Right, but I was thinking enemy invincibility frames. Yeah, there's no making my way back across there. Alright. Plant Man. Weak to Blizzard Attack, which is just that. It's like a worse version of Chill Penguin's shotgun. Because it spawns behind you. Right, he is dead simple. Other than that... I'm out. Alright, so be it. It does not have much ammunition, and the fact that it spawns behind you on a slight delay makes it a little annoying to use. Fortunately, that's not the only time we're going to need it, because we're going to need it for 2 of the bosses. Not one of the bosses. Technically Plant Barrier. Okay, now that we have Plant Man's weapon, the barrier, Tomahawk. The fork after the second, Putton. Though with this particular set, I would ask what was he trying to create a theme park with around each of these robots, because they're all kind of themed. Well, at least these 4. There probably is, but it's not that important. I mean, I'm not sure why I'd want to open the block, but... Cheesable Eddie. 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 He seems to be constantly dropping one item. I know you're cheesable, Eddie. I just need you to drop an E-Tank. Just an E-Tank, Eddie. E-Tank, Eddie. And the energy balancer is good. Eddie. Come on, Eddie. Thank you. Drop an actually useful item, Eddie. Thank you. I forget what's in the upper path here. Ah, just goodies. Yeah, the fork after the dispenser. I just wanted to see what was up there, and it turned out to be goodies, because E-Tank. the one after this. Oh, it's that one. It's this one. Yeah, I see what you mean. The energy balancer, extremely useful. Like, I'm surprised that isn't on by default in more of the Mega Man games beyond 6. It is so exceptionally useful. I don't know why it isn't by default. Shield attackers that are terribly annoying. Now, that's where things could get racist. In its interpretation. Could be any number of reasons. None of them are particularly nice interpretations. And I cannot and refuse to speculate as to why Robot Masters are weak to one thing versus another, because often it doesn't make a lot of sense. And I'm out. Okay. Allergy? That's a possible reason. Probably. Although why you'd program a robot to have allergies, I don't know. Although the fact that Yamato Man is the one weak to Tomahawk is also kind of interesting, but that might make sense. Not really, but you know, breaking of spears with the heavy with an axe again doesn't make the most amount of sense. But this is Mega Man 6 we're talking about. Second fork. I'm assuming this is the first fork. And I don't think it matters, because I believe they all reconverge after the mini-boss. Not that that mini-boss was hard. Ah, E-Tank. No. Those are the reasons, probably. Like, this is all pre-industrial Japan, so definitely nothing to do with that. There's the second fork. The upper path. I very nearly jumped right into that. I wouldn't say more advanced AI because of, if we're going to be honest, we are more along the lines of where the Battle Network series of robots are in that timeline is. We're more along the lines of that than anything else at this point. No, it's more based this particular Robot Master is more based on the pre-industrial Japan than like anything near Pearl Harbor era Japan. And this is actually why I start with Yamato Man generally, is because he's actually extremely easy to buster duel. If you start out with more health than what I had. Why am I not using Tomahawk? I was expecting to die. And then once I remembered how easy he is to buster duel, just decided to buster duel him. I mean, I could see that. And then for some reason, Spear takes out Mace. And then Knight takes out Centaur. 'Cause you crush his legs. Like, I've actually busted a lot of these Robot Masters. I've buster dueled a lot of 6's Robot Masters because I was young. Power Adapter punches against Nightman. That does sound like that'd be a fun interaction. We'll have to try that. I mean, it does say the, fully charged adapters, they can in fact be stunned, essentially. There's something on the wiki about if you hit them with fully charged power adapters, that'll often interrupt their attack. So that'll be interesting. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. Anyway, Nightman. Oh, just before the boss gate, punch the blocks. Yeah, he was one of the easiest ones. I think I figured him out as a child. Also that. Oh, first time, Eddie. Thank you. And then the swords in the background, which are actually sized roughly appropriately to be Mega Man sized, and that's hilarious. That the swords are roughly Mega Man sized. I mean, there's that, too. Actually, all the Robot Masters technically have this particular weakness. I mean, it does push them back. But piercing of the shield, yeah, that is definitely something. But you do gotta get within melee range, which is always dangerous with, especially Mega Man. Especially with Mega Man coding. Especially with NES Mega Man coding. It's always concerning. And then the mace, it's quite literally because you break Centaur Man's legs very slowly. Right, Night Crusher is Centaur Man. And then we're off to Wind Man. Which, oddly, why does Centaur Man get the aquatic themed level? This is really kind of a mismatch of themes here. Like, this doesn't make much sense. Why does Centaur Man get the water theme? Never did make much sense. Again, breaking of the legs because horses. Like horses. That would be why, because horse legs are notoriously temperamental? Easily broken. Temperamental is probably the best word for it. Okay, that is also a possibility, but centaurs are not entirely only Greek. But that is where a lot of it comes from, yes. Oh, right. Just fly across to the top. How are we? We're actually doing pretty good on E-Tanks, all things considered. Come on, Eddie. Something actually useful. Come on now, Eddie. Thank you. Also, is it just me or do these submarines, like, read more as cars? What would I do with a check that's $1,300? I mean, yeah, that's helpful, Eddie, but that is not a lot of money. Like, Social Security is not, in fact, a lot of money. Night Crusher. And especially considering this split takes place in the world of 20XX, God knows if that's even around anymore. Especially considering Dr. Light and Wily are both old men, who very clearly should already be on that. Right, he has an invisibility thing he does. Not that it matters, I will crush his legs anyway. Though why Windman is weak to Centaur Flashes continues to be an unusual thing for me. But that's all of Beat. No, well, the Crystal Man one's probably the one that makes the most sense. Oh, all that's left is Windman. Probably because it stops the wind that power him. If I had to guess as to why he's weak to Centaur Flash. Could also be that. Again, not that it needs to have an explanation. And Rocky through! Can they? Huh. I just figured that, I just figured it'd be easier to just do that. I figured it'd just be easier to just smack them. No. No to the Panda Man. Fine, Panda Man. Punch you to death. Ow. Oh, that does sound like a glorious name. Let's see, Crystal Flash. I think we're I forget if E-Tank's max at 9 or not in 6. Oh, at some time we'll eventually get around to it. Those games are not going anywhere. Like, even if Capcom pulls them from sale, Steam will be there. And I can still download them. Plus, they're installed. Not like it's going anywhere. Panda Maverick. Of course he would be. Bamboo, Pandemonium. Of course he would. Why would he not? Why would he not be a panda based? Well, again, that's just a fairly standard naming convention when you're trying to be secretive as to be X. I know there's a thing in there, but I don't remember what it is. Oh, just 4 1-ups? Well, not terribly needed then. Besides, that's awfully difficult to get into. Like, I was trying my smallest jumps and was failing. Let me up! Fine. We'll try a different method. If the game wants to be rude about things, we will be rude about things back to it. And with these guys, I don't see a point in being nice to them. It's mostly my stubbornness more than anything. On to the Robot Master, who's weak to... Fire Blast. A Flame Blast. Technically also weak to the Plant Barrier. Let's see which one he's actually easier to hit with. Oh! Oop, out of that. I mean, they're technically, everything from here on out is technically weak to the power adapter. Even Mechasaurus. Even though he's a bit harder to hit with that. But that's mostly because that deals a constant 4 damage. At fully charged. Although the energy balancer is extremely helpful, I do not trust that. I do not trust the slotted bits in the floor. Only because they are probably holes. I've played Megaman. Well, if you're feeling comfortable enough to say as much, it may be a bit much, whatever it is. Okay, I'm getting slaughtered over here. Because do remember, Any information given out on the internet is available forever. And you're less anonymous than you used to be on the internet. Whatever floats his boat. The piston. Yeah, he's technically weak to... He's weak to the tomahawk of all things. I mean, I'm just gonna die to him. Just because I didn't have enough health. Come on! There we go. I mean, considering he was out of buster range the entire time he was trying to kill me, absolutely. I mean, kind of. I get where you're coming from. That's just for a life. We don't need that life. Yeah, E-Tanks camp at 9, I think. I will disagree with you there. I live in an area that, well, we're not known for pizza. Chicago deep dish is known for things, but may not be from Chicago. I have had Chicago deep dish. A lot of the U.S. is actually more well known than for pizza than you think. Like, where I'm at in particular, gas stations sell pizza. In fact, they sell some of the best pizza you'll ever find. So while we may not be known for it, there's a lot of good pizza around. You just gotta know where to look. Oh, survived that one somehow. Unsure how I survived that one, but I did. Oh god, no. I'm talking about actual ones they cook in a 400-degree oven, a 400 to 500-degree oven. Although Jack's is probably the best version of frozen pizza you'll find, in my opinion. Although there's plenty of other ones. Somehow I survived. I should definitely be on jet for these. Because anything that can be done to avoid them is better. Jack's is, here's the thing about Jack's I found, is that they're basically the same, only with, oh no, Jack's, yeah, Jack's is really good. Yeah, you used to be able to find Jack's all over the place, but, you really can't anymore. Granted, it's like a $4 pizza, but you're getting a really good thin crust with a really good cheese and some really good sauce. And I should have looked at what this was weak against. Blizzard attack. Ow, 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 ow. I'm not even sure what this thing's weakness is. Found it. Actually, I just had the cheeseburger, the Jack's cheeseburger last night. It is so good. And if you get their cheeses, it's a good base to build basically any pizza you want onto. It's glorious. Like, Jack's is an amazing pizza for just building something out of. And plus, how often do you get a Mexican style pizza? That's good. Xboxes. Ah, these things. Ah, the bird holes. Granted, I haven't had one of their Mexican style pizzas in ages, so I could be misremembering it. Back when I lived off of Jack's for like, a good chunk of my my college was like, a good chunk of my college was just living off of Jack's Pizza. I mean, we could go up, but there's really not a lot of reason to. No, it is literally Jack's. It might be a Midwestern thing. I'm not entirely sure. Like Meyer. I've never actually been to a Jack in the Box, but then again, I've also never been to a Red Robin. So, yeah. You grow up in a very rural area. It's like there's places you just don't go. Ow, bird. Very angry bird. Bird. Very angry bird. Birds. Okay, birds. Give me invincibility. I mean, that would be exceptionally rude of him. Okay, we're in the X-Crusher. This thing's weak to Flame Blast, oddly enough. Might as well drop an E-Tank. It's not like I don't have, you know, maximum of them. Yes, it has. Once again, Dr. Wily! I mean, that's kind of the point. E-Tanks kind of make things very, very... E-Tanks and Rewinds do technically ruin a lot of the challenge. But then again... No, I had not noticed. That's hilarious. If he actually did, that's a spelling error. We are surprisingly almost done. Yes, we are at the final Wily stages. There are 2 bosses, the refights, and the Wily machine. We're actually getting pretty close to being done. Assuming I don't randomly die to things, yes. That was luck. That was nothing more than luck. I did not realize that was there. I think I may need to bust out an E-Tank to survive. Huh. That's what I thought I needed to do. And I believe they reflect back for 1 damage, if I remember correctly. There we go. Waste of a centaur, but I do not like those squidmen. I'm just probably gonna die to this boss. Stay in the bottom left corner of the room. We'll try the power adapter. I can see. Problem. He's weak to Yamato Spear. Okay, what part of you is actually the weakness? Risk, yes. Necessary risk, yes. It's the mouth. It's the face. But a very specific section of the face, basically his nose. It's basically his nose. There we go. I mean, it works, and that is technically his weakness. Everything else is 1 damage. I mean, with rewinds, it is not that big of an issue. A joke could be made about the white covering the ground, but that would be silly, rude, and inappropriate. But we are not 12. Fine, you shielded turret, you. Yep. I figured someone was gonna say it. That's not supposed to happen. Okay, that is the game. That is specifically the game. The game suddenly lost audio. There we go. And now it's stuttering. Let's try a... No, that's everything. We will do a full restart. Weird. Never seen that happen. Yep, sound is back to normal. There we go. There we go. No longer delayed and no longer choppy. Of course, I did lose my, spot on the, thing. Chances are I'm going to die here, so, I was just gonna let that happen. Weak to windstorm. I have no clue how that's gonna actually work, but, we'll try it. Okay. Yeah, you decide. Bit of column A, bit of column B, a wet cannonball. Which is even more disturbing. Like, how would that even work? Whoa! Airman! Oh, I don't want to think about Don Corneo. I don't want to think about him. I lost track of where I was because I looked away for half a second. On to the refights! Ah! Let's see who we're up against first. Yamato! Technically, we need a lot of Silver Tomahawk. I swear I'm not this bad. There we go. So I'm going to save my Silver Tomahawk and Buster Duel him. Plant, who's Blizzard. Figured might as well Buster Duel him because I can. I mean, it's not like he was that much hard of a one to begin with. And Power Man and Nightman is exceptionally easy to just power armor. Power adapter through. I got him into a jumping loop. That's hilarious. Got him into a jumping loop. Didn't mean to do that. Now, Centaur, on the other hand, I will use the weakness for. Mostly because nothing is really weak to Night Crusher. Like, everything is weak to Silver Tomahawk past this point. Like, literally everything. I wouldn't say that. He is a man ruled by his lusts and desires, and has been given the ability to do so. Tomahawk is plant barrier. Ew. Right. The Joker is just a madman. Flame, which is Windstorm, which also we have no need for. Yeah, Don Corneo's definitely not Joker-esque. Not even close. It is hard, but not impossible. Of course, with Blizzard, the hard thing is his tiny projectiles. Like, they are very tiny and very easy to just accidentally ignore. I think that's why they went back to being the shields being throwable in later Mega Mans. Actually, I'm not sure what that filled up. Tomahawk. Oh, right, there's a Met dispenser. Eddie. No Eddie. Bad Eddie. Give me health when I'm at full. Bad Eddie. Tomahawk. For the first, second, and capsule. Supposedly. Oh. First phase. Perfect. And capsule phase. Okay. Yeah. Good luck with that one, Wily. Oh. And there we go. All 6 Megamans defeated in 3 streams. Not quite 2 apiece, but that leaves the fun bit of starting Neo 2 on Wednesday. So that'll be fun. Looking forward to that, because I know Neo 2, it's a further enhancement and refinement of the systems that Neo 1 had. And expansion, because, oh god, did they expand the random item drops by adding an entirely separate system on top of it. It's an interesting take. But the customizable, it's a N-I-O-H. It's pronounced Neo. No. But it's got a customizable character, which is going to be interesting, because those are always fun to do and see what they do, what kind of systems they offer. Especially considering I've been playing, in fact, nearly have completed Rise of Ronin, which was Team Ninja's next Neo-style game just before 3 came out. I call it Proto-Neo 3, because that's probably what it was. It's an open-world version. It was the first open-ish world game, and I think it's pretty good, even though it is, by most metrics for open worlds, fairly limited in what it allows and what options it gives you to do things. but it is a great assassination game. It really is. Like, it is glorious. At least I find it to be. I won't be streaming Rise of Ronin, mostly because I bought that full price and was like, ooh, this is fun. So much fun that I just played it myself. And then Neo 3 happened, and Neo 3 is also open world, and I'm like, oh. This was basically their prototype. And this is the other reason you can see that 6 was kind of their swan song. I mean, it was, very clearly. Because they're showing off the bosses and what they do, rather than just the name, the designer. Well, plus, these were all mostly fan designs, so they decided to actually show off what the bosses do. And like I said, I've Buster Dueled most of them in 6. 6 is probably the most Mega Man game of the original Mega Mans, the one I played the most. Like, I played a lot of 6. Though we never did see what Beat did, but Beat was never really meant to be useful, because he does, like, no damage to anything. But, yeah, we'll see everybody on Monday for a... It was supposed to happen last week, but things with friends went long. And, I mean, we were gaming up until, like, 11, and it's like, okay, that's stream at midnight, right? Normally. But it was just like, okay, I'm just tired. But I've got literally like the next 4 weeks of game testing all planned out, including more Mega Man. Because there are more Mega Mans to be tested. And so, with that, all the original Mega Mans have been completed. While there are challenges, but I'm not terribly concerned about any of these, because I'm not that good at them, at Mega Man in particular, so I'm not terribly concerned about them. Oh, Robot Rush. No items? Oh, God, no. But yeah. We'll do game testing on Monday, like normal, at midnight. Midnight 30 on Wednesday, we'll begin Neo 2. Then we have, I believe, the BMX game that got recommended. I think that's the one I have lined up. No, I've got another one. Then the BMX is next week's demo. The week after's demo. So mid-June. And then Saturday will be more Neo. More Neo 2. Which, theoretically, Neo 2 will probably take us the rest of the year. Or pretty close to. Given how long Neo 1 ran for. Very few games will match the length of Final Fantasy XI, but that's because Final Fantasy XI is Final Fantasy XI. And there's still stories that have not been told within that game that really no one plays anymore. But, having said all that, we'll see you later, and we'll see you, Kyo, in Final Fantasy XI. In a few. We'll see you all next time.